What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to take a quick look at the Alpha Flight. We're gonna get the first impressions of this team, what I'm expecting from them, not only in Alliance Wars and in raids, but also outside of those game modes. Are any of these characters worth taking to Dark Dimension 6 or 7? Are any of these characters worth using in Cosmic Crucible? We're gonna take a look at each of their abilities, their T4s, and which isolate I would recommend, once again as a first impression, and then we're gonna test them out in the near future, right, as soon as we have them available, but at least we will have an idea of what we can expect. So we're going to break down all the information that you need to know about the Alpha Flight, once again my perspective overall on this team. Once again, not only in Alliance Wars and raids, but also outside of that. And if this is a team that you should aim to maximize or not. We're also going to take a look at the first impressions of my infographic and break down all the information. So as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so Alpha Flight for now is composed by Northstar, Guardian, Sasquatch, Sunfire, and Wolverine. The Alpha Flight as a team, they have up to like 15 or 20 members, and some of the important members are still not in game, including Northstar's sister, the wife of Guardian, and a few other important characters as well. But these are the characters that we have for now. And Wolverine and Sunfire, they were part of meta teams to a degree of the Unlimited that was required for Apocalypse, and Weapon X, which was and is still a very powerful team in Alliance Wars. So that alone gives a motivation to get up a few of these characters. Now, the new characters, Northstar, Guardian, and Sasquatch, they have something very important between them, is that they all use different types of gear. Northstar is a mutant, Guardian is a tech character, and Sasquatch is a bio character. Because of this, and because they are all part of the same section in Dark Dimension, you could use them together, like use Spider Society or Cabal or some other team that you can use all the members at the same time, right? One even better thing about this team, one factor, is that Guardian, Sasquatch, and Northstar, they give their buffs outside of raids and Alliance Wars. That means that we are still going to have a team with solid stats to use on different game modes. This compared to Cabal, for example. Cabal don't get all their stats outside of a Cosmic Crucible, and because of that, it's a better choice to take Alpha Flight for Dark Dimension than it is Cabal. And Cabal is still a good option, it's just not the best option anymore. And once again, because we have this variety of different types of gear, it makes it much easier to gear up for Dark Dimension 6 or Dark Dimension 7. Okay, now with this in mind, let's take a look at the infographic. Once again, this is the first impressions infographic. It means that based on the testing that we'll do when we have a full team, we might change a few things in terms of the ISO weight. In terms of the T4s, I think we are fine. Some T4s are definitely must have. And one thing about this team is that we don't have kit-based characters. Northstar is the closest we get to a kit-based character, but even him has necessity of having higher stats, whether it is for his damage output or negative effects. And because all of this team works around the drain, the bigger they are, the better. Some of these characters also apply barriers, so the bigger they are, the better. And this is why we have so many characters with gold promotion credits, because this signals that these characters should all be at a very big size. Diamonds, maybe in the future, we'll see, but yeah. Now, in terms of the position of the team, I think this is going to be the best position. We want Sasquatch in a corner, followed by Wolverine, because Wolverine can revive, and he also has a massive and powerful passive that keeps him alive. He has defense up, 100% block chance, he has death proofs, and like I said, he can also revive, so he's gonna have super mitigation, and because of that we can pair him up next to Sasquatch. And Wolverine, his only powerful abilities are the special and the ultimate, but they are damage based, so they are not as crucial to protect the team than is Guardian, Northstar and Sunfire. So this is going to be the best position for the team. Once again, first impressions. In terms of the game modes, we have to try them out. We might get 1 or 2, maybe even 3 Blitz teams out of these characters. Maybe we'll still pair them up with other characters as well. For Arena, I don't think they will have any chance. Dark Dimension, like I said, they might have some good value. And Alliance Wars Defense, for sure they will have value. Avengers Tower and Cosmic Crucible, we have Sunfire part of Unlimited, Wolverine part of X-Men. Maybe we can still use these characters together, but I think Sasquatch being able to apply taunt to himself on any character's turn will be very interesting, because unlike other characters that gain taunt on spawn, he can get taunt multiple times throughout the match, which will make him super annoying, and is definitely a character that you want to really max out. Now, in terms of Guardian, right now his kit is not 100% clear. I think he has more stuff in his kit than the game says, but this is going to require some in-depth look into the files of the game, so we'll do that in the future. Northstar for now, just the fact that he can remove revives from the enemies, and because he's quite fast, he's going to have major impact, whether it is on Alliance Wars offense until you don't have the full team, and also in other game modes like Cosmic Crucible. So I think at some point, or in the correct team, or with Sasquatch or with some other character, the fact that you can remove revives is going to be very important. Okay, now let's take a look at the T4s and see what each of the T4s does and why some of them are more important than others. The basic of Guardian, I think it's going to be important because of his passive. Whenever he has regen, he's going to give more armor to Alpha Flight, and this armor is going to be important for Alliance Wars defense and raids, so keep that in mind. And this is why you're going to use him as a striker, because you want him to apply regeneration to himself, and he can do this with his striker ISO 8. Now, in terms of the special very low cooldown, applies offense up to all allies. This can be good for the Alpha Flight, but also other teams, even villain teams. Having an ability with such a low cooldown and offense up for everyone is very strong. And then we have defense down and slow. This is going to allow you to use the Guardian even with Cabal. So if you invested in the past in Cabal for Dark Dimension 7, you can still use the Guardian because of this low cooldown, the offense up, and the slow, which is something that the Cabal needs in Dark Dimension 7. So even if you don't take the full Alpha Flight, the Guardian alone as a tech character is going to be a great complement for the Cabal in Dark Dimension 7. In terms of the ultimate, it has a big cooldown, flips immunity, applies stun, so this is going to allow you to play up with characters like Apocalypse, that if they remove the safeguard, then Guardian will be able to flip the immunities, which is a very powerful ability. The T4s for this character, most abilities are not super important, so keep that in mind. Attack unavoidable, 500% focus, so it doesn't have to be a skirmisher. So as you can see right away, it's going to be very plug and play. Now, the Guardian also is going to call one Alpha Flight ally for assist. You can limit how many Alpha Flight characters you have on the team to increase the chances of that one specific character taking a turn. Now, this can be Northstar. With his basic, he can apply trauma if he's fully charged, or it can be Sunfire or Wolverine, or even just Sasquatch. So we could have a combo of a Guardian and Sasquatch, and this would make sure that Sasquatch always does his basic. On death of enemy, applies defense down, so you have powerful abilities against the summoners. And here we have the stats, additional health and additional damage in all game modes, with additional stats in raids as well. Okay, so Alpha, the Guardian, the leader of the Alpha Flight, is looking very strong. Now we're going to take a look at the next character, which is going to be Northstar. And like I said, Northstar, he has a very interesting basic, but this is a little bit misleading. He's going to get he's going to be able to apply trauma to a single target whenever he has 10 charges. It takes a very long time for him to get charges, and especially because he gets evaded on spawn, so it's a little bit problematic to get these 10 charges going. You might be able to use this function on his third turn, which is kinda late, so keep that in mind. So you could use him as a striker, you could use him as a skirmisher, you could use him as a raider. All of those isoawaits would be great for Northstar. First impressions at a low level, maybe skirmisher, maybe raider. Once again, the striker requires a very specific scenario, which is not super easy to accomplish at this point in time. With his special, he has a single target blind that can be extended for 2 turns with a T4, so this is a powerful ability. He's going to rebound chained around, but once again, this depends on how many charges you have with this guy. Usually this is a turn 2 ability, whether you use on your own or whether it is being used by the AI, so keep that in mind, as they will always use this ability, and this is why it's important to have also him far away from the character with a taunt. In terms of the ultimate, this is a great ability, clears revive once from all enemies, but it's going to depend on the match, right? If you're facing a team with Dormammu, this is going to be great, but because this is a defensive team, this plug and play value of the removing revive once, it's not going to be useful in terms of Alliance Wars, but in Cosmic Crucible and in Raid. So here we have some additional value for him. More charges and more damage whenever he has additional charges. 10% is just not meaningful enough, because it's 10% of the multiplier, not 10% of the base damage or anything like that, so it's not a big deal. Once again, in my opinion, this charge mechanic of Northstar is something that maybe in the future will have value with his sister, because right now it's not really the case. Applies slow, applies disrupt to all enemies. Once again, as a turn 1 ability, this is very strong, and you can also apply and extend the negative effects that other characters apply. So you could have, for example, just a stupid example, but you could have Magneto and the Death Seed with Northstar. Magneto would apply the blind, and then you would extend those blinds with Northstar. So it's something that could be somewhat interesting, even if it's just for Blitz, right? Now, in terms of the passive, we have on spawn apply 2 evades with the T4 for the entire Alpha Flight team. This is extremely powerful. This is in all game modes, so it's not going to have only value in Alliance Wars and the raids, like I said before, and this in Cosmic Crucible, but also in the Dark Dimension would be extremely powerful. On the head of enemies, apply speed up to Alpha Flight. This is just for 1 turn, so it's not a big deal. Every time a character gets attacked, he gains 1 charge. I'm not sure if it activates with the evades. At least from my testing, it was not activating with evades. And once again, he gives stats outside of their specific game modes, Alliance Wars Defense and Raid. So additional focus and additional resistance for the entire team. On those specific game modes, he's also going to give 25% more speed to the entire team and 250% focus, and this is why we can use some of these characters as raiders rather than skirmishers, but once again, it really depends on the game mode. Let's take a look at Sasquatch. Once again, Sasquatch is a very interesting character. I thought they were going to make him similar to Wampa in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's still somewhat similar, but not as powerful. So on spawn, defense up and death proofs for Alpha Flight allies, very powerful. Then we also have that if this character is above 75% health, he's going to gain taunt, and this happens on any character's turn, whether it is ally or enemy or summon or whatever. It's a very powerful ability that we didn't have before. When this character drops below 35% health, is going to gain 2 death proofs, 2 regens for the entire team. All game modes, very powerful again. More armor, more drain for all game modes for Alpha Flight, and he has a counter-attack chance in raids. Now, this counter-attack is a good reference because we have bonus for Sunfire with counter-attacks, but none of these characters give counter-attacks, which is unfortunate, and it really limits the value of what Sunfire can do. Now, in terms of Sasquatch, he's also going to gain additional health and additional damage for himself and Alpha Flight characters in Alliance Wars defense and in raids. This is a very powerful team. Just on Alliance Wars defense alone, you really need to use something like Apocalypse or Mercs for Money or some strange Super Scroll combo in order to beat this team, because of all the stats they have and the extra effects that they do when they're all together. Okay, so as you guys can see, the 3 new characters are very powerful, and they will have a lot of potential in multiple game modes. In terms of Sunfire and Wolverine, they still have the same abilities. Their rework was very minor, was more in stats rather than in function. And once again, because this team does not give counters to Sunfire, and the speed up is just whenever you kill an enemy, this character is still going to be held back from his true potential, right? When Sunfire was firstly released, I said that this character would be amazing if he had good speed, but Scopely really shafted his stats in terms of speed, even that he flies, right? Maybe some kind of snail that flies, which is very unusual. But that's pretty much it. He's decent, he's okay, there's no anything special compared to the new characters, and that's it. We are still going to use him as a striker because of his basic attack dealing piercing damage and applying more bleeds, so that's going to be still very important. And Wolverine, we're going to switch him from a striker maybe to a raider because of his special. This team, at least for now, does not apply a lot of vulnerabilities, so you want to make sure that Wolverine is applying those vulnerabilities. Now, when you get the full team, maybe this is going to change. Maybe you're going to use the Guardian as a raider rather than Wolverine, but like I said, if a Guardian is a striker, he's going to give more armor for the entire team, making them much more beefy. So this is something that we have to see, but at least for now, from my perspective, Wolverine will be better as a raider than a striker. Because and the thing is that the striker is still very good. Speed up on the isolate attack. Now it also applies disrupt in raids and Alliance War, so it's not like Wolverine is a trash striker. He was always good, but now he's like amazing. It's just that the situation with the team does not allow you to use him as a striker. In terms of the ultimate, in the past this was not a recommended T4. Right now, because it kills one target and then it jumps for a second target, and this works in all game modes, it's a very powerful ability, but depends. Do you have your Wolverine with diamonds or not? That might be a factor when you're trying to decide if you're going to apply this T4 or not. And finally, we have the passive of Wolverine. Like I said, this is a very powerful character in terms of how resilient it is, because of this defense up that proves, and he also has the 100% block chance when he's below 50% health. So Wolverine gets very hard to kill when he's at low health. In raids and Alliance Wars, is going to give resistance to the team, extended negative effects whenever enemies die. So, I mean, it's okay. He has a little bit more utility than before, but nothing special. So this is Alpha Flight, guys. It's a team that is looking very solid. I'm actually quite excited to test them out in different game modes. I'm going to take the Guardian myself for Dark Dimension, because he's a tech character and I need more tech characters to balance out my costs in Dark Dimension, and I'm going to use him together with the Cabal team. Like I said, on spawn he gives barrier to any ally, he also gives offense up to allies as well, and that's going to be very crucial once again to balance your teams in that game mode. And once again, he's tech and tech is cool, at least at this point in time. So this is the first impressions on the Alpha Flight. Once again, you're gonna be able to find this on my Discord. The link will be in the description. If not today, maybe in 1 or 2 days, because I'm a little bit busy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of the Alpha Flight. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and I'll catch you guys later.